Hello, Radiant Shanti Mamas. Today we have a nice prenatal flow for you. I'll be offering a few modifications for first trimester if you want to do it then, but this video will work very well through all 3 trimesters. We're going to start standing up. And for this video, you're going to do this at your own pace as well. We'll do things, but modify as you need. I'll be offering lots of modifications. If you feel you need to sit down or take a break or do something else or skip forward, please do that. Pregnancy is all about you becoming in touch with your body, and that's really important, and yoga is a great place to facilitate that. So, that being said, start with your feet about hips distance apart, toes facing as forward as you can get them. If you need to create a little more space for baby and your growing belly, go ahead and stand a little wider than hip distance. Whatever feels the most comfortable for you. You have your feet planted in all 4 corners evenly into the ground. Go ahead and put a slight bend in your knees, and then roll your shoulders up, back and down, with a little bit of a squeeze in between your shoulder blades. And hold your hands forward. Just take a couple deep breaths here as we settle. You can close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And let it out with a sigh. Take one more deep breath in. And let it out with a sigh. Good. Go ahead. We're going to start with neck rolls. Just gently roll your head. As you come backwards, be very gentle. You don't want your neck to flop. You want it to be a nice controlled motion as you come around. And breathing, exhaling as you come forward, inhaling as you come back. And then we'll switch sides. Go the other direction. Really feeling yourself ground and relax into this.
Welcome to your 5 elements practice. We're going
And then what we're going to do is inhale our arms up above our head, gaze up. You can interlace your fingers in a steeple grip, letting your pointer fingers go, or you can grab hold of one wrist. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, just take a very slight side bend. As we're pregnant and full of relaxin', we want to be really, really careful with our bends and everything we do. And then inhale, come up. Make sure, drop your shoulders down if they're up by your ears. You have to widen your elbows, that's great. Then as you exhale, lean over to the other side. Again, just being in your body and remembering you can go farther than you usually do, but that's not necessarily a good idea right now while you're pregnant. So really engaging those muscles. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the side. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the other side. Then inhale, come up. This time we're going to cactus our arms, so open them up to the sides, and then we're going to take a slight back bend. And by back bend, I mean we're going to just lift our chest up a little to the ceiling. So from the side, it's just more of a lifting of your chest up and a pulling of your shoulder blades back. Make sure to keep that pelvis tucked. We want to keep as much pressure off of our tummy as possible. while still getting a nice opening in our shoulders and in our heart space. And then come forward, relax your arms down. As you're here, inhale up, and then exhale, we're going to bend forward. And here you might need to create a little bit more space between your knees. Just create that nice space for baby. And if you have props, this is a great time to use a block. So go ahead and place a block or maybe two, depending on how you feel. And you can use a different height. And just come into a nice forward bend. Wiggle your hips a little if you need. Relax for a couple of breaths. And inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Back to your block. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, come down. And then inhale, round up. We're gonna round this time because it puts not too much pressure on our stomachs. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Exhale, sink down. And then inhale, roll up. Good. If you can, put your feet a little bit closer together. We'll inhale our arms up. And then exhale, we're going to swoop our arms around behind us. Squat down, and if you can brush your fingertips along the ground depending where you're on your pregnancy. If not, just kind of raise your arms up to a chair pose. And as we're here again, we want to make sure our pelvis is tucked a little bit. And we'll breathe here for a couple of breaths. Chair pose is great to help us with pregnancy, to strengthen our pelvis, to strengthen our quads. Inhale, come up, swoop your arms back around again, come into another little chair pose. We want to remain soft in our upper bodies. Inhale, come up. Exhale, one more time. Swoop in and come up. And as we're here, go ahead and place your hands on your chest, lean forward, and we're going to just do a little gentle twist to the side. Couple breaths here. And then come to center. And then exhale, twist to the other side. Very small, very gentle, depending on where you're at in your pregnancy. And not just that, but where you are in your day. And then inhale to center and come up. Good job, mamas. Shake it out a little bit. From here, depending on how you're feeling, we're going to go into tree pose. So go ahead and root strong into one leg. And depending on how your balance is, you can either place your foot on the ground, just on your toe, and just rest here. Maybe move it up a little towards your calf or up into your thigh, just as long as you're not on your knee. If you have access to a wall, go ahead and put your hand against that or a chair. We'll just be here for a couple of breaths as well. And as you're here, just imagine your roots growing deep into the ground. If you feel comfortable, you can lift up and find a single spot ahead of you, maybe on the ground, maybe on the wall, to help you balance your drishti point. And imagine yourself growing tall and big, like your baby is growing. Good, and then go ahead and come down. Shake it out a little bit and switch sides. Again, you can have your foot low on the ground and just come into a toe, which is absolutely perfect. You can come up a little higher, or you can come all the way up. Just avoid your knee and really feel that pressure of your foot into your inner thigh, and your inner thigh into your foot. And no judgments if one side is different from the other. This side for me is definitely a little more wobbly, but really try to ground. Find that gestation. You can grow if you want. Maybe this time just have a little triangle or circle above your head. Open your elbows out. Drawing in the energy of the universe and bringing it all the way down through you to your baby, and then out through your feet to the world, grounding and connecting you. Good, and release. Shake it out a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. All right, we're going to move our block slightly to the side, and we'll come into warrior two. So if you want to be about 3 to 4 feet apart, and again, if you're pregnant, this might feel very different. Your back leg is going to be facing a wall in front of you, and then the other one's going to be facing forward. And you want your heel to intersect with your inner arch. And so for me, I need to back up a little more and then lean forward in, extend our arms. And then as we inhale, we're going to come backwards into a reverse warrior, stretch our sides. And then we'll come forward and just kind of shift and extend. And then backwards on an inhale. Forward on an exhale. When you're pregnant, you want to be the strongest, and continue with this flow. When you're pregnant, you want to be the strongest and the softest you've ever been. So this helps with that. And if you need to, you can also straighten your leg as you come back and bend it as you come forward. Do that one more time. Inhale back and exhale forward. And then come up, inhale, straighten your leg, and then we'll shift. So our feet are parallel to each other. And then turn your opposite toes towards the wall. Bend your knee to about 90 degrees. Raise your arms up. Then inhale, come back to reverse warrior. And then exhale forward, just pivoting. If you want, you can bring your arm above your head, whatever you feel. Just continue with this nice, gentle flow. You don't want to go too far down. Keep your muscles engaged slightly. And you can even imagine that your feet are drawing towards each other to engage those inner thighs. Again, if you need, you can always straighten one leg and bend depending on how you feel. We'll do one more. Inhale back, exhale forward, and then come up, inhaling, straighten your leg. Go ahead and have both toes facing forward. And if you have 2 blocks, this is a great time, or just 1 block. We're gonna come forward into a forward fold. And again, you can have your blocks of whatever setting feels most comfortable for you and for your baby. And we'll just take a couple breaths here. And then you want one of your hands to be a little bit more center underneath you. You're just going to gently twist, lifting your opposite hand up to the ceiling, and make sure you don't lock out your knees, have a slight bend. As you exhale, come down, and inhale, switch sides, look up, and then exhale, come down, inhale up, exhale your arm back to center, inhale, come up, and exhale your hand back to center. Good, and shift your feet a little closer together. And we'll round up Good job. One more standing pose and then we'll go to sitting. So as you're here, point your toes a little further out. You want them further than hips distance. And what we're gonna do is some goddess pose to really strengthen our legs and pelvic floor. So as we inhale, we'll inhale our arms up and we'll squat down as far as you can go. And then as we exhale, we'll stand up. So keep this flow, and you don't have to go down very far. Just keep this nice, gentle movement. One more time. All right, good job. From here, just kind of walk your feet together and make your way to the floor however you're most comfortable. I'm just gonna kind of squat, move my blocks, and come down. We're gonna be on all fours. Move these blocks over here. And you might feel more comfortable putting your hands on blocks for this if you're on all fours. If you want, you can also grab a blanket and put a blanket underneath your knees if that feels more comfortable for you. You want to be comfortable while you're doing this. So with your hands on the floor, we're going to really spread our fingers wide, engage our back and our obliques. So you want to keep as much weight out of your work out of your rectus abdominis as possible, so those front six-pack muscles, and really engage your side core muscles. As we're here, you can kind of roll your elbows in a little bit, rotate them so like they're gonna wave hi to each other. Take a deep breath in, slightly drop your belly, look up, curve your spine. And then exhale, we're going to round and look between our knees. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, look up, and exhale, round. Continue with this pattern for a few breaths. This is a great way to strengthen your pelvis and help your baby get into a good position for birth. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round, and then come to a neutral spine on your next inhale. From here, we're gonna do some circles. So we're gonna drop our chest a little bit with our bend in our elbows as we kind of dip our back, and then we'll roll almost like a barrel, come look under as a tuck, and then we'll kind of do that cat-cow with a rolling motion. Get into your shoulders and your elbows a little bit. And we'll switch directions. Good, and come to center. If your wrists are a little sore, you can come back, shake it out. I know that a carpal tunnel is something that a lot of mamas deal with, so go ahead. We really want to strengthen these arms and strengthen our back. So these are great to do, but it's also good to take breaks. All right, and then from here, we're going to just quickly do some balancing. So depending on where your balance is at, going to stick one leg back. And maybe this is enough, but if you can, try to bring your leg up and then bring your opposite arm forward. And we'll hold this for 2 breaths. Great, and then bring it down. We'll do the other side. And down. Good job, mamas. And you can go ahead and sit back, make your way to the floor. If you have a blanket or a block or a pillow, or a towel or anything, just fold it up. We're going to come to Baddha Konasana, so bring your feet together. We're going to come to Baddha Konasana, so bring your feet together. And again, you can have your feet close, you can have them far away. Depends on your belly and where you feel comfortable. And you can lean forward a little bit. If you have your blocks handy still, a great thing to do is put your blocks in front of you so you can rest your hands on your blocks. Put them up a little higher. You can also rest your forearms. Modify how you need. Use all of your props. It's a great thing to do. And then we'll go ahead and sit up. And we'll put one leg in front of the other. Flex your feet. Inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale, lean forward a little bit. Get a good stretch in your hips. Then inhale, sit up, switch sides. Good job. Come up. From here, you can either go back into your Baddha Konasana or just sit cross-legged or however you feel comfortable. We're going to do a little bit of a calming breathing exercise because I know that laying on our backs isn't the most comfortable when you start to get a little bit further on in your pregnancy. So go ahead and sit up nice and tall. We're going to do we'll just do one breath. So this breath, what we're going to do is you're going to put your your pointer and your index finger or your pointer and your middle finger, sorry. Just rest it gently on your forehead. Your pinky finger will be touching your ring finger, and then your thumb will be outside. Your thumb is going to block your thumb is going to block your right nostril. You're going to take a deep breath in through your left. Then you're going to block your left nostril with your ring finger. Let go of your right nostril with your thumb, and then exhale. Inhale through your right nostril. Cover your right nostril with your thumb. Let go of your left nostril and exhale. And continue in this pattern for a few breaths. Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing, is a great way to relax. It's a nice cooling breath that won't heat you up too much, which is something we want to avoid as mamas, is getting too hot and too warm. So this is a great calming breath, especially if you're a mama who already has kids. It can be nice to just have a moment for yourself when life gets hectic. So just take a second to breathe and calm your nervous system and balance the left and right hemispheres of your brain. Go take one more deep breath in through your right nostril. And then let go of your hands and breathe out through both nostrils. Take one closing breath in and let it out with a sigh. Thank you so much for joining me for class today, mamas. I hope you enjoyed it. Namaste. We started 5 minutes late with all the refilming having to do. That's why I went a little longer.